Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play Astral Chain. We are on to the final mission of the game, File 11, Reckoning.
I bet we'll find Yosef up there.
Brenda hooked me up with a floor map, so I can handle navigation.
All right, Olive. Lead the way.
It's quiet in there. Too quiet.
There aren't even any guards. Something is definitely up here.
Even if it is a trap, we can't turn back now.
This is kind of a Resident Evil lab quality to it. And I can dig that.
What on earth is Yosef working on here?
I can't even imagine. He kept saying he was the only one who can save humankind. But does he even care about humankind anymore? You saw them. The clones. What kind of person would do something like that?
Akira.
Whatever he's doing, it's wrong. We've got to stop him.
What is it?
The elevator.
I can see the floor through the crack. If you can get these doors open, we can get out of here. Do you copy? We got out of the elevator.
Are you okay?
Olive? Olive! It's no use, I can't get through.
Radio jamming? Between that and the elevator shutdown, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Plus, there's the mood shift too, and this really sorrowful piano. It lends this a lot more drama and gravitas than it probably deserves. This enormous, vacuous facility that's completely sterile.
This is... Damn it! What the hell is Yosef trying to do with my body?
So he's making clones here.
So as far as story-based fights go, this is an incredible one. All of the clones of Akira are just your standard human enemies. We've encountered a few mobs of them throughout the game, but what makes this so cool is not the fight itself.
They're all me. No, they're not. They're not me. They're not me. Die!
And Akira's freak out there is not what makes this a cool story beat either. Instead, look at the red glow cast by all of their incubation tubes. We've spent so much time in this game in one of two environments. Either all of the reality warping geometry in the deep reds of the Astral Plane, or these, like, multicolored neon cityscapes. There's a little bit of a visual metaphor in this environment that's really cool, and it's that red that's been color-coded to the Astral Plane leaking into something more man-made and familiar and structured. It's this visual metaphor of worlds colliding, leaking into each other. And that sells the gravitas of this way better than any kind of stilted lines from Akira or whatever else. It also, the cool thing about this space of the lab kind of environment, the ARI, is it represents how the threat has shifted and to whom it's shifted to. The enemy isn't like skulking in alleys or pulling us into gates at this point.
Yosef needs to answer for what he's done.
It's in the labs and the headquarters we worked in. It has this veil of legitimacy, where we're the intruders. We weren't justice, or anything representing that. We were carrying out the will of Yosef. This is such a good way to bring this full circle in a really satisfying way. And I will give out all day long about Platinum storytelling and how it's not usually their strong suit, but little things like this are just... Even if the plot is ridiculous, they can hit those emotional beats really well sometimes. Emotional beats other than just the hype shit. So this fight is a massacre. It's our first proper one of File 11. And that went super good. Feeling it. Like I'm in a pretty good place right now. I think it's, what, probably just you left? And the music picks up a little bit. And the room itself is another way of showing more literally how the two worlds are ebbing into each other.
All me. Am I one of them? I have to find out.
Akira! Wait! Akira! Let's find a new route, quick!
So Akira goes one way, we have to go down the other path. God, this is really cool too. Like, they save all of the good action for the deeper parts of the file. But that said, like, everything leading up to that crescendo, that peak, is not filler in this one.
No good. The path is blocked. You must have tripped the emergency defenses. Try your iris. Maybe you can find their controls. Use your Legion to destroy them.
This is legit one of the best files in the game. No, I'm not couching that. This is the best file in the game. If there's one thing Platinum usually does really well, it's endings, so that shouldn't even be a surprise. Ooh, shit. It was having a hard time steering my wolf boy through them. Oh, that's nice. We didn't really need it too bad, since we're already pretty well furnished, but we'll take it. And I believe this room has something pretty cool in it. This one's not too unique, but it is our first boss of the file. First of many. This one's a little closer to a mini-boss, you could say, since it's this arm archetype that we've sort of seen a few times before, except with a little elemental, ice elemental twist. And a lot of the same rules apply here as they did towards every other one of the floating enemies. Unfortunately, oh shit. We're getting our Legion stuck behind the pillar. I think that's how... Ooh. God, it makes the arena so cool, though. And then he starts doing this with his arms. And one more good swing should do it. God, in midair. And the intensity slowly ramps. And now we get tested on remembering some of our Legion's alternate abilities and using the L button prompts a little bit more. We got that for the Arrow Legion. We're getting it here. We'll get it for everyone. We got it for the Arm Legion as well in the elevator. The only thing that's kind of a shame is that that doesn't play more of a role in the actual final boss, just the lead up to him.
Great. Looks like we'll need the Axe Legion to get through this.
You just hop through that. And you can probably imagine this is for the Beast Legion, because it's eventually going to become Crash Bandicoot.
Done for. Ride the Beast Legion to get through.
I believe the pattern here is randomized, and we're not getting anything on the ground, which is kind of nice. Ah, there we go. There's a little bit of it. I find the ground spikes to be the hardest part to avoid.
Oh no, the wall's down. What kind of security system is this? Quick, use the Arm Legion to get it open before...
And the Arm Legion once again. This is pretty fun. I like this sequence. And then that's dope. Oh, that's so cool. Now we dip a little bit. The tempo goes back down for a second. only to give us some breathing room before it picks right back up. And we have the true Ravens fight. Last time around, it was more of just a story scrap with them. This is the actual fight. Before we go all in, I would love to be able to get the Arm Legion's final ability, because it's basically Zarya's Graviton Surge. And it could be really handy here, but nothing doing. We're gonna do this the fun way then. At some point... Ooh, you really have to watch using the blue shield from the Axe Legion here. The Ravens have a really good way to break that quickly. Single enemies, it works incredibly well on, since they usually only have a few big hits in a row to get through it. But the Ravens have all of your weapons, your Gladius, your baton, and your gun. So just a couple quick plinks from the gun gets rid of the whole 3 hits of the shield. Keeping as many of them off screen as possible and isolating them can work really, really well. Oh, shit. Now they're a little clumped up, though. And it's going to be hard to do that. Whew. Didn't get the sync attack on that perfect call, unfortunately. They're also, as you're seeing, pretty evasive, which makes them really fun enemies to fight. They're essentially just a bunch of you. Except a whole crowd of them. So yeah, we will absolutely pop this form. Now the gauge builds very, very slowly, but I have this worked out, I think, so that I should get it back just in time for the final boss. Not gonna have it for the next boss, but I shouldn't need it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You can really get locked down by these two. How many of them are wrapped? I'm probably gonna get shot a little bit. Yeah. You just need to deal with him. I don't think that actually landed. That sync attack didn't do anything. Again, yeah. Okay. We have options for that. And then, also, as their numbers dwindle, the Axe Legion's blue shield increases in value. Still not perfect, since we still do have some of them firing guns, but we can make this work. There we go. Caught him on the recovery of that roll. Woo! Yeah, their iframes are just about as good as yours. God, that's a fun fight. But what's next is even better. Rather, I forgot about one fight coming up. So I should say, what's coming up soon is even better. But the very next thing is still not bad at all. Big, luxurious elevator. Tension ramping up.
Chimera's outside too?
Here we go. You gotta complete the study guide before you can take the final exam. Ah! Lift it up in the air before all the auto punches could come out. I actually don't like that sync attack that much. Whoop. We can take her too. This is the one I originally wanted. There we go. She got her tiny little hit off before I could finish her, though.
They're still coming. Look out.
Sweet! Oh yeah, that's ice. Are gonna have quite a bit going on in here. quicker you go down, the better. They really start playing with the enemy combinations right at the bitter end of this game. And some of them get really cool, too. Come on, come on. Ah. Couldn't keep that juggle going. We want beast for this. Whew, all of that whipped. That sucks. That would have been the finisher, too. And sink. You get out of this position, preferably.
Hang in there, okay?
Yeah, slimes. Ice-themed ones, which is a running theme now. This is our third ice enemy of the file. This should get all of them. Well, 3 out of 4. We can keep the other one from attacking just by keeping the camera off of the fourth one. And now we're good. Oh, I thought that was always an AoE. Oop, I'm gonna do that before the ice beam comes out. That got me in a really nice position afterwards, too. I think the thing that I don't like about that one is how much it combos back into itself, instead of going into cooler, like, combo routes. Cool, 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 yeah. Yeah, we finally got to a Scylla. And this version of Scylla is cool. I love this design, I love how it moves and how it's animated. Just this, how violently it thrashes around. And it's really fun to lock this thing down and just mess it up. Like, you wouldn't expect something like this that moves the way it does to be so fun to style on, but holy shit, it is. Beautiful. And now, we once again get a small cooldown as the elevator finishes going hundreds of floors up.
We better go too.
But what's up next is some good shit. Oh, actually, you know what? First, I should check. Yeah. There are some goodies. Heal on. Full med is not bad. Could come in handy.
The only one. I'm the only one. I'll show you. I'll destroy them all. The only one. Stay out of my way! I was so happy to be a Legionis. I thought I could finally take care of myself. But this power, it's not like yours. I'm just another one of Yosef's projects. I'm not fit to save humanity or Dad.
You didn't think Jenna was gonna be our only rival, right? Like, what other point is there to giving you a twin in a Platinum game than to make you fight him at the end. And it is exactly as good as it should be. He is your direct equal. We also have to be really careful that I don't actually lose a battery to him. Ooh, that was closer than I would have liked. 2 and 3. He has your combos too, so if you know them, and you should by this point, you should have an easier time. Oh, he was just out of reach. And that didn't reach either. Ah, man. 2 really big whiffs. And then he's just as evasive as the Ravens we fought earlier that was priming us for this, especially since they weren't using their legions. It was setting you up for this specific scenario. And then he's just a little better than them by virtue of involving the Arrow Legion in this fight. Whoo! Oh, that's a stun. The same time that I could have gotten a juggle going. And of course, his Legion also has a meter, just like yours. So if you target the Legion, he's gonna be without it for a little while. Otherwise, you have a much bigger problem to deal with. God, it's so good! Ooh, he dodged that second one. I actually didn't hit the first sync attack, which is super bad. Also need to go from way more of these. Especially with the Beast Legion. The Beast Legion has a really good perfect call sync attack. Especially when I've been underestimating how evasive he actually is. It's fine, I'm indulging. This fight is so good! It's okay if it lasts a little longer than it needs to. Come on! Oh, I want to finish it with a with a melee strike. This is fine though.
I wondered what all the commotion was downstairs. I should have known it was you.
Yosef.
You've saved me some trouble, coming here on your own. I was afraid I'd have to find you myself. I suppose we have some time left. Come now, show me what you've got. Ha!
Pokemon trainer Yosef wants to battle.
What the hell are they? Why did you make them?
To save the human race. Nothing more or less than that.
Cut the bullshit!
They form the core of a great salvation that will begin very soon. Does that clarify things for you? I needed a catalyst to awaken at least one of you to your full potential as a Legionis. Soon I found one. Thanks to Jen's unexpected memory, I realized I had to account for the possibility of losing you when you arrived here with your injuries, Akira. That's when you truly awakened as a Legionis. What a stroke of luck. Not only did I have another Legionis, I also had the perfect opportunity to make backups. After everything I learned from my Legion research, making a perfect clone was almost trivial. I'm sure you can figure out the rest. Oh, another way. When you fuse with your legions, I analyze their process and the mechanisms at work. I truly couldn't have done it without you.
Shut up!
You still don't understand, do you? I've overlooked your imperfections up until now, in honor of your service. But that ends now. There's nothing you can do to stop me. So be good sports and give yourselves up.
So of course, part 2 of this rival battle is a rival battle against your legions instead of your twin. We've already fought someone who has all of our exact abilities. Now we're fighting alternate legions that have all of their ideal abilities, like having the Arm Legion who had that Graviton Surge ult. And this is the big difference between my approach to this fight and how I was approaching the Akira rival fight. Is way, way, way more perfect calls and perfect sync attacks now. Should have been doing that before. I just like rush down way too much in this. I do not have a patient playstyle in this game. It's so fun to just hit buttons in it. And to hit them as aggressively as possible. Especially on fights like this, they make it so goddamn fun! This is one of my favorite fights in the game. And you're fighting alongside the sibling that you just sorta kinda bested. Even though the cutscene treats it as a tie. It's getting you two back on the same page. It's fun as hell. It's a little hectic because you're always fighting at least 2 of them at once. God, it's so good. You're being a little bit too slippery. Just like when we fought the Arrow Legion Nemesis the first time, this one's really evasive, and it'll teleport all over the place. Just to get out of harm's way sometimes. Like, it will back up and create that distance. That might not reach, damn. Ah, man. This is still fine, we're still gonna maul this thing. You just have to change tack a little bit. Yeah! And I know exactly where I'm gonna end. Get ready for the coolest shit in the game next time. Do not miss it. Like, actually don't. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.